Bonsai Dream.
Here we are with this beautiful Rocky Mountain juniper. This is the Wichita blue variety. Probably the names come from the Indians and is a very bluish color Rocky Mountain juniper that is also native and probably this tree was collected in Colorado or Wyoming. The tree is very strong now. I saw this tree earlier in Hidden Garden, and then after my friend Steve bought it, he really developed a lot, especially this part. We tried to get this tree as strong as possible because this part originally was very weak. It's still not as good as the rest of the tree, and looking at the tree we find out that the live line is kind of strangulating between the trunks growing one against the other. So we have this part that is very nice with a lot of foliage, and this live line and a little one in the back that are very weak. So I want to try and find a solution how to use the best part of the tree with the live line. This live line start in the front and twist in the back and make almost 90% of the foliage of the entire tree, rather than this live line and the one in the back that has just a little part of foliage. So I was going back and forth trying to incline the tree in different position and find out which one could be the best option. My original idea when I first saw this tree 2 years ago was to try to create a tripod trunk, but then, as I said, in the last 2 years, those two little trunks, they never develop a good foliage. So we can't relate our design to parts that are weak and will be always weak for a reason or another. So I prefer to sacrifice this branch, create beautiful deadwood, and use only the strong part for my design, because I know this will be always a part developing, and I will be able to create a nice bonsai with some time and get it mature, rather than use part that are gonna get weaker and weaker, and maybe one day I have to change completely my design because one part is not developing or is dying. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna incline the tree in the side, create a semi-cascade using this trunk, and develop beautiful deadwood, just ginning completely this part. So the tree will be laying in the side, in this position, and using this inclination I can have the best movement of the live line, and I can highlight this big tangent and all the deadwood of the tree. So let's start the process, removing all the berries and start cleaning the deadwood in the two parts that we decided to sacrifice for the design.
You just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love?
So now that I was cleaning the tangent, I found out why that part was always weak. the live lines start dying back in this section and rotting, and we had only even less than a centimeter in this position of live line, and so the strength of this area wasn't good because the live line was keep dying back and reducing in this section. So it was a good decision to just remove that part and use as a tangent.
Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave and by the time it's done I'll be gone.
So here we are after the complete cleaning of the dead wood and the live line. I also cleaned the foliage and kept only the strong foliage that I need to build the new canopy of the tree. While I was going through all this process of cleaning and studying the tree, I also tried different angles to see the best angle, because I was not sure about my starting decision of putting the tree down. Because while I was cleaning this gene and the gene start coming out very predominant, and also I start cleaning this line, it was a pity to go for a front like this one, where it was very, very evident the kind of 90-degree angles between the two stronger part of the tree. So then turning the tree in different angles, I found this front here, where in my opinion the base is nice and strong. We still have this as a very big focal point, as a tangent. We see this part, we see the start of the live line twisting back, and then between the two trunks we can also see the prosecution, natural prosecution of the trunk line. We have a lot of good foliage in this side that we can use to frame all these little gene, and we still have this long branch that is flexible enough to come forward and create a nice top around this gene. So now the next step will be, I want to still protect this section with raffia, so when it is going to be pushed forward, it will be protected. And then starting from the lower branch, I will start wiring and shaping my pad, going up to the top. Here we are halfway on the work. The lower branch is set, the upper part too, framing the nice gin. I also was able to give some depth, creating some back branches inside of this negative space, but still I leave a gap in this position to see the trunk. So from the front you can see the start of the live line here, and then also the twist with the tree coming back forward. And now what I have to do, I already prepare the upper branch to be bent. I'm gonna finish the wiring in the upper part, and then I'm gonna move this branch forward, and I will try to frame the upper part of the tension with the canopy, and try to build the top of the tree around this area, and a little bit in this side and in this side, so all the tree can look nice together.
You just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time?
So now that all the tree is wired and everything is ready, I'm just gonna do the last bend with Steve and push forward this section. So done that, we have just to put in position these branches and creating the top. So probably I'm gonna go down with this and fill this gap. I still have this guy for the back, and then I'm gonna use this guy pushing down in this direction and then coming forward with this branch to close the top.
Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done.
So now the last part of the job, taking care of the apex. So I'm gonna bend this guy back, so I will short the length of all the part, and then I will have these two branches that I can use to come forward and build my top around this area. You see that I already have the two sides coming up, so you can already imagine how the top will be framing this negative space under this gin, and then the work will be done. And here we are with the final product. The apex is nice and round, protected by this gin, and all the tree has nice lines. I try to clean as much as I can to open some space, see the gin, put in evidence this front gin that is very nice, leave an open gap here and here so you can see the back branches and have a nice depth. The only thing I'm gonna just do now at the end of the work, I'm gonna bend down this gin that is still flexible because it was a live branch, and then I will stop the position like this so it can match all these lines going down until the last one very strong there. So I'm gonna put a piece of wire, fix the position, and then the tree is finished. Thank you for following my YouTube channel.
Bonsai Dream.